Current or former hitchhikers of Reddit, what person that stopped or gave you a ride was the most memorable? Why? Hitchhiking in Israel with my partner in the 90s. We were picked up by these Palestinian brothers. After a bit of chit-chat, the one in the passenger seat says, "You like hashish?" Pulls out a big joint which we all smoked. He then says, "My brother, he is a cop," then pulls out his Glock and starts waving it around. "It's all good," he says. We had a good chat, many laughs, and after half an hour they dropped us off. We realized we were only about 100 meters further down the road from where we were picked up. About 6 years ago I was hitchhiking in Scotland, heading north to do some wild camping. My second ride, I got picked up by a Scottish guy. I could barely understand what he was saying because of the accent. He was heading into Glencoe to climb a hill and camp at the top, so I joined him. Long story short, I now live in Scotland. We've been married for 4 years, and I now understand 99% of what he says. I accidentally picked up a hitchhiker once. I was at a red light at the transition between a village and town road. No more sidewalk, road gets busier and a bit more dangerous to walk. A man walked up to my window from the sidewalk and waved like he was going to tell me something. I assumed tell me I had a flat tire or something about my car. I rolled down my window and he mumbled something with a smile, and when I motioned that I couldn't understand him, he just nodded happily, grabbed my door handle and got in my car. Once he was in, it was clear that he spoke little to no English. He was Asian, about 25 to 30 years old, and very polite. He motioned that he appreciated the ride and I asked how far. He understood and said not far. I told him I was only going home, which was a mile down the road, and that's as far as I could take him. He nodded politely, but I am not sure he understood. I drove the mile down the road, and right in front of my neighborhood was a Blockbuster. He motioned to the Blockbuster and said, "Here, here." I asked if he was sure and he nodded, thanked me profusely with gestures and bowing with his hands together. I waved and drove off. To this day I've never seen him again, and it remains a strange encounter for sure. I once picked up a guy wearing a black leather trench coat in 100-degree weather. He was young and friendly, made good conversation, but he absolutely reeked. Finally I couldn't really stand it and was like, "Man, I am sorry, but I gotta tell you that you fucking stink." And he goes, "Oh haha yeah, it is probably my raccoon." Then he opens his jacket and he has a freaking raccoon pelt tacked to a piece of cardboard. My most memorable ride was also my shortest. A guy pulled over in the middle of nowhere, Maine. He said our paths would diverge just over the bridge, but he'd give us a ride anyway. So we got in for the 100-foot ride. After we got out, he leaned over to the open passenger side window and said in a gravelly voice, "Life does not give a rat's ass who lives it." And he drove off.